For me, um, the first belt should be your easiest belt to get. A blue belt shouldn't be difficult. In my opinion, the definition of a blue belt, according to what Elio Gracie says, what I read in Jiu-Jitsu University, written by Saulo Ribeiro, he says that Elio taught him that a blue belt just means you can beat a bigger, stronger, untrained opponent. Okay, so blue belt just means that if you fight a bigger, stronger guy, you will be able to subdue him and you'll be able to use jiu-jitsu, of course, to beat him. This, for me, shouldn't take too long. I think this is a very excellent definition. I think it's a definition we should go by. And how much jiu-jitsu do you need? How many years of training do you need to beat an untrained guy? Not long. In my opinion, if you're training 3 to 5 days a week, you should get it within 6 months to a year. I mean, quite easily. Quite easily. A blue belt for me doesn't mean you're the best. So it just means you could beat bigger, stronger, untrained opponent. Which for me, if the jiu-jitsu curriculum is good at the school, it shouldn't take long. I'll put any one of my students with 6 months experience against a guy with no experience, and I'm extremely confident they will win that fight. So the next belt is purple belt. Now, in my opinion, purple belt is a hard belt to get. It should be extremely difficult. It should take about 5 years. I haven't given anybody a purple belt under 5 years, except for two individuals who were training maybe 3 times a day, 8 hours a day. I mean, it's very difficult to get a purple belt. It means you're advanced. It's the first advanced belt. If I give you a purple belt, I'm telling the world that, hey, this guy's jiu-jitsu is advanced. So for me, he will control blue belts. He will sub blue belts on a regular basis. He won't struggle with the blue belts. He will do very well, except for the blue belts who are extremely experienced and are knocking on that purple belt door. Other than that, if he's just wrestling with a regular blue belt or white belt, he will have a very easy time with them. A purple belt should be challenging to brown belts, and he should know his details. He should know the details. He should know the different variations. He should know different combinations. He is advanced. He needs to know complicated positions. So if he doesn't know these things, he won't get a purple belt. And purple belt sometimes is where people stop. They don't get to purple belt. And I always tell my students, I mean, blue belts is where most practitioners stop. And I always tell my students, if I give you a purple belt, it's because I believe you're going to make it to black belt. If I don't see black belt in you, it'll be very hard for me to give you a purple belt, because I believe every purple belt has exactly what it takes to be a black belt. So purple belt is a very crucial step. If you get to purple belt, there's no excuse. You need to get to black belt. Now, brown belts, of course, should dominate and control purple belts and sub them, of course, not necessarily with ease, but still get submissions every so often. And black belts should be doing the same thing to brown belts. Okay, so once a brown belt starts going 50-50 with black belts, he taps one every so often, and he's starting to get really good, it's time to promote him to black belt. So once you get to purple, it really becomes about how good you are compared to the other belts, and we're going to group you accordingly. Whereas for me, blue belt, it's just whether you can sub or control or dominate an untrained opponent, a bigger, stronger, and untrained opponent.